Today Africa Podcast is a podcast series where we interview African entrepreneurs and professionals. By sharing these stories, we want to help others get started.
Welcome to another episode of Today Africa Podcast, and our guest today is Gerard Revocatus from Tanzania. He is the founder and CEO of Fiqra Academy and Fiqra Technologies. Gerard, you are welcome.
Thank you so much, Chukwuemeka. Have I pronounced it right?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you so much for the opportunity for having me here today.
Can you please tell us about yourself and what Fiqra as a brand is into?
So first it's called Fiqra with a Q. So I'm Gerald Revocatus Mukama.
Okay.
I'm the co-founder and CEO of Fiqra Technologies, which is the parent company of Fiqra Academy. So at Fiqra Technologies, we're so committed to making sure that we provide organizations and different entities with different technologies, specifically software solutions, but also through our flagship product, which is Fiqra Academy, we enable the young generation of Africans to learn in-demand skills, starting with digital skills like computer programming, digital marketing, artificial intelligence, and so forth. So with that, we are committed to bridging the gap between education and industry needs by providing quality and flexible and accessible digital skills education for the African youth. So yeah, that's us.
What is your backstory and how did you come about with your business idea?
So it initially started as basically an idea. I never saw myself like that it will come a time where I'll be spearheading, I'll be steering a company or having a business in that sense. So we just, alongside with my co-founder, we started like just young kids from university, passionate about coding. I was 18, my co-founder was about 21, if not 20, yeah. So we were just passionate. We could just design different websites and here and there get some freelancing jobs or work remotely and so forth. So I started as a front-end engineer. My co-founder was a back-end engineer. So that was a really good mix. Yeah, he could do things that I couldn't. I could do things that he couldn't. So yeah, so it started as a journey of just trying to find something meaningful to do. But as it went on, one of our family friends, like Africans have these big clans that you don't even understand. Like you're being told like, this is your brethren. I don't know, he's the son of, I don't know what uncle, you see. So I just end up and calling him like a family friend. So he's more of a brother to me. So he came in Dar es Salaam, since I reside in Dar es Salaam. He came here for studies. Then he graduated top of class. After graduating, it was really hard for him to source or search for employment, despite him being top of his class. So he started like doing different entrepreneurship, like trying to sell different products. He used to to produce pepper, like how should I call it, like pepper sauce. And he started to sell it and so forth. Now, I started to imagine that this is the same story among many other Africans. Like we find a lot of other young Africans graduating, some top of the class with really good GPAs, but they really get a hard time to get employed because maybe first they have outdated skills or maybe governments, like there is a huge demand than the supply of jobs, and so forth. So the story of my brother really touched me, and I was like, okay, so what if we start training people with digital skills? Because mind you, I started working for different companies without even having a degree. It's just because I possessed an in-demand skill. So I could code. And despite my age, despite not having a university degree, I even became a product manager one time with Digital Opportunity Trust. So you can see, yeah, now I was like, okay, what if we channel the skills that we have to many other young Africans so as themselves, if not, so that to help them not only just to stand out in the job market, but also if they're not able to source for formal jobs, maybe they can find freelancing opportunities or remote working opportunities and make a living out of it. So it brought us to a position where we started doing training in Corona, and yeah, it was a really I don't know, it was a crisis, but also it came with opportunities. Whereas we started doing web development classes online. So our first class was on March 2020. So we started the class on web development, and yeah, universities were closed. Everyone was desperate. So people like wanted to find different opportunities to keep them busy and so forth. So we saw an opportunity in that. So we started doing our first class. We had like more than 40 students who enrolled, and we were like, okay, so we have 40 students. This is it's we're like on demand, or like it gave us hope at least, you know. Yeah, so it went on and on and on, and until it reached a time where as we were like, now we are working a lot, like we could have a lot of sessions every month and everything. So we thought of like, okay, what if we have a more centralized way where we can deliver these skills and people can access them anywhere, anytime. So we went on to build Fiqra Academy. We started with an MVP on 2022, and people could access our courses for free. Then in 2023, around April, we properly launched Fiqra Academy as a web app and an Android app. Then this 2024, last year, we scaled to iOS. So that's the story behind how it came to be.
I believe that there was a process, or there were processes that you and your co-founder, passed through to launch your business. So can you describe the process of launching your business into the market?
Yeah, so I think a lot has been spoken in the past question, but to cut it short is that as I said earlier, we never thought we would be businessmen, so it just happened on the way. So we're just
Okay.
passionate kids who happen to be businessmen. So first we just started like working for passion, like in that sense, and then later on it went on as in first the good thing is that along the journey we came to realize that there is a demand of what we're doing. So before even dealing with the compliances, going to the regulatory bodies to register our business and so forth, we started working on the ground and understanding the problem that we are trying to solve enough to build a business on top of it. So it happened spontaneously. We didn't plan it for it to go that way. So by starting with the groundwork, we came to realize like, okay, what do these people really need? And we could properly build a solution that best fits the need that our clients or our current clients have. So creating a solution that solves a problem rather than starting with a solution that looks for a problem to solve. You see, so that's how it went. So now after understanding the need, and of course after also participating in different digital I mean participating in different business incubators and accelerators, we came on to better understand even our idea and so forth. And then we later on 2021, around September, we registered around October. Yeah, we registered our company. Formerly, it was known as Vijana Tech. So after that, after registering with the company name Vijana Tech, we went on to continue with operations and so forth. And last year, we had to rebrand into Fiqra because Vijana Tech in Swahili, the term Vijana means youth, and tech is technology. So it was like more of a name that it targets a specific set of people. Now, in the long run, it would have limited us to explore different other avenues or different other opportunities. So we had to rebrand it into Fiqra, which basically means an idea in Swahili. Yeah. So that was basically it. Yeah.
Everything we do in life comes with challenges. So, what were the challenges that you guys faced in the beginning of launching your business, and how did you people overcome them?
As African entrepreneurs, there are a lot of challenges that first they're into our abilities, and other ones you have nothing to do about it. You see, so now if you're in a situation that there is a combination of both two, then it becomes a little bit exhausting. So first, it's finding a team. So throughout the journey, we've had people who came in and went, and I don't blame them at all. The only person who stayed is it's my co-founder, of course, and one of our design lead. They're the ones who stayed for years, but the people who we started with the business, a lot of them are long gone. Like they have other ambitions and working elsewhere. You see, so you can see that you can be able to find a good talent, but also retaining it as a startup, it can become very difficult in terms that first you don't have enough cash flow, you don't have enough funds that can help sustain the business. For example, if I wasn't living in my mom's house, I believe the story would have been different because I would have some bills to pay. Yeah. So the same applies to the other team members who left. They had bills to pay. So it's either they stay attached to your vision or create a better life for themselves as well. So it was really hard in that sense, finding team, but also there are some people who came in because sometimes startups can have a really good social, how should I call it? Social status. So people, they be drawn into it because of the social status. You see, and then once they're in and then they find the hurdles and how complicated it is, and they're like, no, this is not for me. So in that sense, finding a good team and retaining it has been one of the challenges. But next, it's the funds, as I touched about it a little bit. So yeah, because like the startup journey, you start and sometimes you don't have paying customers, and it goes on like that. And so you need a lot of money to keep the business sustainable, at least having a quality runway for you to test out ideas, for you to to properly test out your product enough to create a product market fit. So if you don't have funds, then it becomes a very hard road. So it was the same with us. I remember our first seed fund was like 1,000 USD, and what could that do? You see, so you just we had to build the MVP and so forth. You see, and even try to do other gigs, because as I said, we did software solutions. So the software solutions arm had to fund for the Fiqra Academy product. You see, so it was really crazy in that sense in terms of funds, until we came later on to raise for MasterCard like 70K. Then that we from that moment we could at least test out properly the idea, and having a proper runway that um, that enabled us to properly enter into the market.
So what's your business model, and how does your business generate revenue?
So on the software solutions arm, it's basically simple. So we work with organizations so as to provide them with custom software solutions, from web development to software development and digital marketing as well. So the way we work, it's first it can be through referrals and so forth, but also winning tenders, and they pay for the custom service. Now, when it comes to the Fiqra Academy, it's practically simple as well. These we have diverse ways. First, it's that students enroll through our mobile applications or web app. They enroll in specific courses, and they pay for the course. And Fiqra Academy retains 30% of the revenue generated for the course, and 70% goes to the instructor or the specific education organization that owns the course. So that's one. But also right now we also white label Fiqra for other big organizations like banks and so forth, for their internal training, because we came to realize one of the other challenges that big organizations face is that each year they have some training that their employees must complete, and they sometimes spend a lot of money to host the training and so forth, a lot of money. So with white labeling Fiqra, with using Fiqra as their internal training LMS, we charge these organizations per year. It depends with the company size and so forth. So those are the two main ways how Fiqra Academy creates revenue.
Let's talk about your marketing strategies, how you market your business. So since you launched, what has worked to attract and retain customers for your business?
Okay, so first, we utilize different channels. So there is social media marketing. So we are quite active on Instagram, and also as well as Facebook, Twitter, and recently last year we opened pages on LinkedIn. So we really utilize social media as our marketing channels, because first also we target youth who are the most active people on social media. So where a place to find them, it must be social media. But also we have a huge partner network of youthful organizations. So working with Digital Opportunity Trust, Tanzania Emerging Youth Awards, and so forth, who have reached to thousands and thousands of young Tanzanians. So through leveraging their audience, we do market our courses to their audience, and sometimes even create tailored tailored training specific to their audience as well. So that's the second one, but also through writing different articles on LinkedIn and so forth. Also, as well as on our website, Fiqra Academy website, we get to tap into a diverse, to a variety of audience who are proactive and eager to learn about different skills as well. So mainly it's on social media, but also leveraging our partner networks. And last year also we started exploring email marketing in that sense. Yeah, but those are the main channels. And so that's what we do internally, but also on the other hand, it's through attending in events, different events and exhibitions, doing exhibitions on these different platforms that are available both locally in Tanzania and some international stages. So with that, it introduces us to diverse markets and different stakeholders who can really help us propel the vision and our mission to reach new heights. So yeah, so that's how we do it. That's the Fiqra way.
So how is your business doing today, and what does the future look like?
So currently, in the Fiqra Technologies side, I have a very young team. So I don't know, the oldest in our team is about probably 20, I don't know, 26, 27. So we have a lot of ideas that are being cooked inside. So we have a lot of solutions coming. We'll be launching one at a time. So we really don't want to stop dreaming in that sense. So as for now, just we mainly offer software solutions, also with our flagship product, which is a learning management system, Fiqra Academy. But in the near future, as Fiqra Technologies, we're looking forward to tapping into different markets like fintech, agri-tech, and so forth, offering different solutions that are built in-house. And in terms of Fiqra Academy, we are soon to launch a project called Fiqra Clubs, whereas we'll be creating communities in schools, secondary schools, as well as primary schools, so as to prepare the young generation, to prepare them with the harsh job market. And so we figured out that if we start equipping people with digital skills from a very young age, they will become digitally illiterate enough to stay ahead of the market trends, but also steer innovations both locally and international as well. So with introduction of Fiqra Clubs, we are looking forward to reach more than 10,000 students in the next 2 years, Fiqra Clubs. But also we are about to introduce Fiqra Content Hub, which will enable not only Fiqra Academy to create a lot more high quality courses internally, but also it will be a hub where many other innovators, many other educational institutions will utilize so as for them to create courses, to create different content that will benefit their audience, but also Tanzanians and Africa at large. So these are the two ongoing projects internally.
What are some key lessons that you have learned in your journey as an entrepreneur?
Wow, there are a lot. There are a lot of lessons. Some that I don't wish any other entrepreneur as well to pass in a similar situation. So first, it's about building meaningful relationships. So I came to realize that business is all about relationships mainly. So as a startup, you might have a really good solution, a really brilliant one, that an outstanding solution. But if you're not open-minded and smart enough to build relationships, because business starts with a good relationship. You can have a really good relationship with with a certain entity, and with that starting point, it creates new opportunities of making money and growth as well. So I came to learn that anytime, even if I go to a certain event, I will try even my best to not stay with the people who I already know. So I'll start fetching for new opportunities, new relationships, trying to find people who can better propel or help my organization or my business to propel the mission even further. So that's one. So relationships are very vital for any business growth. But also second, it's about compliance. Now, this is a very it's a very very important. You don't want to mess with the government. You don't want to mess with with the tax authorities. You don't want to mess with all those all the regulatory bodies that 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 you're supposed to comply. So it's really very, very important. In fact, the first reason where as we closed Vijana Tech, it's because back then we had a very high debt when it comes to tax. So so it was really crazy back then. So we had to close that business and come up and start another business. You see, so it's it's frustrating, you see, that you've built a good story around the business, but you'll find yourself not, you'll find yourself being forced to end something because simply just you haven't complied with the regulations. And this can be also narrowed down to hiring proper talents that can properly understand what's required for your business to comply. Sometimes we just go blindfolded and we're so passionate about our ideas enough to neglect some of the important aspects. And you come to realize, wow, so I was just busy looking for clients, but there are very other key and important things that I should have put into consideration. So I've spent a lot of time mentioning that because it can even ruin your, not only your business, even your life. People go to jail because of compliance issues. So yeah, so those are the two that I can really mention that really stand out in terms of the lessons.
What advice would you give to people that are starting their startup or to younger ones who want to become an entrepreneur someday?
First, it's I would term it as you need to do your homework before starting a business. So what does this mean? It's that like we usually start businesses so as to become successful at some point, and success comes with a lot. It's a result of different things. Specifically, when we speak of success, we mean money. Now, money is a reward after solving someone's problem. So, as an entrepreneur, first and foremost, it's very key and very important that you get to understand the problem enough to make people give you money for it. Like sometimes we can even create cosmetic solutions in terms that, okay, you have a really nice tech solution, but to the end user, it's more of like applying oil or wearing perfume. So it's not more of a necessity or in that sense. So we have to do your homework in a way that you properly understand the problem enough to build a solution around it. There is an example here in Tanzania. There's this big organization here, which they had a project whereas they were building wells uh, in underserved communities. Like the Maasai people, they had to travel very long distance to find clean water. So they had to build, they were like, okay, these people, what if we build wells in their communities so that they shouldn't travel a very long distance. Now they raised a lot of money for it, and they went on and built a lot of wells in the Maasai communities. Now, one thing that they came to realize later on is that the Maasai people were not using the wells, and they've already spent billions of money, and they were not using the wells. So when they got back to the drawing board to understand why do they not, they came to realize that in the Maasai communities, women are the ones who go to fetch water. So they usually stay in-house to take care of the family and do maybe milk cows and so forth. So they're usually in their compounds most of the day. The only time they get to go out, it's when they go to fetch water. So to them, the journey wasn't a burden, it was more of a time to live, like they get to explore different, like they will go there in the river and play and have different games. You see, so it was more, they couldn't wait for them to go fetch water. So now you bring them wells in their community. Now you've removed the fun part of their day. You see, so to them it wasn't a problem at all. So what maybe if solving about clean water, maybe if they could build wells alongside the river, maybe it would have worked for them. You see, so as much as you might think as much as they thought it's a burden to them, but it wasn't at all. So why have I shared this? It's that we should spend a lot of time to better understand the problems before mobilizing and for funds, raising a lot of funds and spending billions of money going and building a solution that won't work at all.
Thank you so much, Gerard. So where can we go to learn more about you and your brand?
So I'm Gerald Revocatus across all social medias. Speaking of all, it's Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Facebook at Gerald Revocatus, as well as Fiqra Technologies and Fiqra Academy. It's the same across all social medias, but also Fiqra Technologies website is fiqra.io and Fiqra Academy is fiqra.academy. So that's where you get to learn a lot more about what we do, about our future plans, about our milestones, and so forth. Yeah. So, but also feel free to reach out in case of any feedback. We really love gathering feedback so as to better curate our solutions for the vast majority of African youth. Yeah.
Today Africa Podcast is a podcast series where we interview African entrepreneurs and professionals. By sharing these stories, we want to help others get started.